Hey guys, welcome to the BeeRPad. It is a beautiful Monday. Guys, it is the excellent Marcus Beer joining me. You're looking very handsome today. I love the hair. You get a haircut?
No, I just had a very, very long, cool soak in the tub because it's hotter than a sumo's anus right now. And I mean, it's hot here, but I know it's even hotter where you are. Because
How hot is it?
Well, climate change is myth, you know.
And why weren't you live streaming from the tub for the benefit of us all?
Because nobody wants to see orca kill a whale.
I bet someone would. There's a fetish for everyone.
I guarantee you, the Japanese whaling fleet would turn up. It's not a pretty sight. It's not a pretty sight indeed. But anyway, yes, I had a
lovely.
I've got the AC, and thank God for insulation because the house is a good 30 degrees cooler than the actual temperature outside. But I still needed to go sit in the bath for an hour and just lower my internal temperature because I tend to run hot anyway because I am the whitest man on this podcast, and I live in almost the desert, and then you throw in on top of that my various medications that are prone to give me hot flashes, and it's a recipe for cold winter nights. Who needs a heater? All my wife has to do is get some marshmallows out and roast them on me.
And Paul, of course, has hot flashes from the menopause.
Yes.
How are you
well, that's the thing. Both Paul and I are going through menopause or menopause.
Menopause.
We're going through menopause. That's right. You don't have that yet because you're a child. Oh. Raymond, you're a child, I tell you.
I know. How are things in your neck of LA, Paul?
Also hot, but yeah.
You're closer to the water, so maybe not quite as hot.
A little bit. Not as close as I would like to be.
You're mid-Wilshire, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm by where the tar pits are.
That's that. I used to live Crescent Heights and Olympic, so
yeah, I'm right near there.
Yeah, so if you don't have AC, that is a fucking swamp. It's so hot.
Yeah,
those old buildings.
I'm lucky because my apartment's in the back, so I don't get a lot of direct sunlight.
Do you have AC?
No.
Oh my
God!
But
if I open up all my windows, I'm fine. I'm usually fine.
Wow. Well,
my problem is during the winter it gets cold, so I'm all bundled up with socks on and ultra thick sweatpants, and
as opposed to the summer where Paul is buck naked in the apartment.
I would be, believe me. If we were not doing this right now, this shirt would be off, and I would be on the couch.
Yeah, I am with you, Paul.
I'm in my shorts. I would be on the couch watching the news.
But you have your natural shirt. I've seen your chest hair.
Yes, I have my natural shirt. That's the other problem.
And the big difference between me and Paul is that when it is winter here and it's 50 degrees and it's pouring down with rain, I'm still too hot and I'm buck naked. So I love the spring we had this year that came all the way up to June. I loved it.
So that is the weather forecast on our end. Please leave a comment with the weather in your neighborhood.
Thank you for joining this AccuWeather forecast. I'm Stormfield.
So, guys, what are you two going to talk about today, Marcus? You are running. Why?
I'm well. Who runs in a movie?
Uh-oh.
Not Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Running Man.
Tom Hanks and Forrest Gump.
That's right. Not quite. No, it is Sir Thomas of Cruise, purveyor of quality coconut cakes to celebrities around the world. Apparently, he sends people he likes a coconut cake for Christmas that's made here in LA. I guarantee you it's delicious, but it's probably not as good as the ones my wife makes. Yes, he has this little movie coming out. Oh, it's come out, and it's a plucky little franchise called Mission Impossible. Not to be confused with Impossible Mission, which was a classic game back in the day on the Commodore 64.
Stay a while, stay forever. Is that the game?
I have no idea. I didn't have a Commodore 64.
Oh.
But anyway, I just remember seeing the ads. But yes, that's what I went to see. That's what I'm talking about today.
And you, Paul?
I am going to talk about Final Fantasy 16. Is that what it is?
Yes. Has it given you a semi-Roth?
Semi-Roth.
Hey.
Or a full Roth?
Oh. A David Lee
No,
Roth?
definitely a semi, and certainly not a David.
What about an Eli Roth?
Ooh.
Tim Roth.
I like the Tim Roth. That's a good one.
I like Tim Roth. My Eli grossed me out with that cannibal movie he did, but now I want to see what he does with Borderlands before I.
I think we all want to see it, but I don't think we're ever going to. I think it's going to go the same way as Batgirl. I mean, this is a movie that was finished, and we had a conversation about this a couple of weeks ago. The movie's finished. They've done some reshoots. It's being recut, apparently, because it's atrocious. There is no story.
Well, somebody else is doing reshoots, apparently.
Yeah, they brought in
not right now. They're not.
Not right now
because we stand with the WGA and SAG-AFTRA and everybody else.
Yes,
we stand against the money-grabbing studios because they're all bastards. Unless they want to hire us and pay us a shit ton of money to provide them with stimulating content. NBC, I think there's a gap in the market for Monday afternoon, early evening live.
Let's do it.
Yeah, come on, Mr. NBC. But yes, I think they brought in one of the guys who worked on Deadpool to do the reshoots. But yeah, we don't know where this movie is.
Am I remembering correctly that Jamie Lee Curtis is in this? And
Jamie Lee Curtis, Jack Black,
Bobby Lee.
Isn't Kate Blanchett?
Kate Blanchett is in it,
and Bobby Lee. Bobby Lee.
All right, Bobby Lee. All right, I'm sure you love
Lee.
watching the Sex and the City reboot because he's in that.
I have not, although I do want to because of him.
I mean, no offense, Bobby Lee, funny guy, but Kate Blanchett. Oscar winner Kate Blanchett and Oscar winner Jamie Lee Curtis.
But have they ever played at the Comedy Store? So.
I have.
No, but if Kate Blanchett wanted to, she'd kill it.
They could probably.
She would. Yeah. But that's actually, I have played at the Comedy Store.
Have you?
After I stopped my career in PR back in 2007, I went and I took a stand-up comedy course for a couple of months where they teach you to break down a joke and everything. Found it awesome. Useless.
Do you remember who your teacher was?
Joe Rogan.
No, it was a very nice lady. I've got her book here somewhere, but she was very, very nice. Oh, Judy
Tenuta.
I know, that's what I was thinking. Judy Tenuta. I can't imagine her being a teacher
with the accordion. She's still alive.
Yeah.
Judi Dench.
No, it wasn't Dame Judy. Hang on. No,
now I'm picturing Judy Tenuta as a teacher and calling people pigs and stuff.
It's like, that's not funny, pig.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's definitely not Judy Tenuta, whoever that young lady is. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember now.
Comedy Store.
Judy Carter. Judy Carter. Her name was Judy Carter, and she's done lots of comedy stuff over the years. And it was very interesting. And we was as part of our graduation, we did a showcase at the Improv.
Cool.
And from that, I was invited to do one at the Comedy Club, the Comedy Store.
Nice.
And the first one was really good, and the second one I died on my ass. So there you go.
But you tried and you went out there.
I tried, awesome. And yes, there are pictures of me up there doing stand-up comedy back in the day. But I realized I can't really write a joke to save my life. I am better being a little more off the cuff and a little more spur of the moment. As you can tell by the fact that I'm never funny on this show.
You are plenty funny. But you're more of a belly room comedian than an OR comedian.
I'm basically more of an ER comedian.
ER comedian.
See, I can make shit up like that on the fly. I can play off other stuff, but you ask me to write a joke, and I will be there for a month.
Gotcha.
It's very bizarre. Very bizarre. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, right. We were talking about the Borderlands
running.
Movie. Yeah. All right, running. Let's talk about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Part one. Part uno. All right, so Tom Cruise is back as Ethan Hunt in the 86th installation of this particular movie franchise, and it's quite good. Not awful. It is another two-parter, which after we had the discussion about Fast X or Fast 10, you know my view on two-parters. But at least this one gets the ending right. They refuse to end it on a cliffhanger, so that's good. So it could actually stand alone. We could, because they've stopped filming the second half now,
right?
And we could never have the second half, and it would the story would still. There is a semi-ambiguous ending, but it's not. It's not like miserable, depressing like we get with the Sharp and the Furious.
So it was a semi-Roth.
So yeah, Ethan Hunt, as always, disavowed, has to, does a lot of running. He's got his usual team. He's got his Benji, Simon Pegg. He's got his Luther Stickle, Ving Rhames. Basically, there is this time, and it's very, very topical. He's up against an AI. How clever is that? And I think the AI is like, I think it's called the Dead Reckoning. I can't quite remember, but it basically portrays itself. Oh, there's this one scene in a nightclub where it's like somebody's trying to buy the key to unlock the original code of the AI, and that original code would overwrite the AI and anything it's done, so that it basically becomes docile again. And so they're in this big, huge, I think, Euro trashy type party, as they like to do in these movies. And there's, the people with guns and people, big butch men and attractive looking women and Pom
Clementine.
Yes, Pom Clementine. She's there, only bleach blonde this time, with no
antenna
eyes, no antenna. And
I've
so
heard great things about her performance. People have been raving about her.
She's great in it. Everybody's great, and it's just one character is really fucking annoying. But we'll get to that in a second. So yeah, this kind of like sums up the whole movie. That they've got this big set piece, and Tom Cruise is there, and his crew is there, or one of his crew is there, and Haley Atwell is there as Agent Carter, but she's not Agent Carter, is she? But and they're all talking about who's going to have this key, who's got this key, because you need two keys, and you put the keys together, and they make one key, and they unlock this thing that's in this box, that's in this place, that's really hard to get to. But when you get to it, you'll be able to unlock it and get rid of everything. And then they say, and obviously we're in the middle of spoiler territory. The movie's been out for a month, so shut up. Then they get to the big reveal that, is this why you threw this party? Because you are working for the AI. I didn't throw this party. The AI threw this party for you. And they have all these big, huge video screens behind them. And it's also like, all this big, funky music. And then the AI, this is how they sort of like signify the AI in the movie. It's like all these wavy white lines on a black background. And then it turns into this hole. And it starts pulsing. So basically, it looks like a giant electrical anus because it's going.
Is this the trend this year? Because there was an anus in Indiana Jones, the time travel anus, and now there's this AI.
This is very similar to that one. Apparently, if you want to make something mysterious and world-ending, mysterious, that's a word. Look it up. And world-ending, turn it into an asshole.
Okay.
Yeah, it actually. If you ever seen the Ivan Reitman movie Evolution, at the end of that, there's this big alien thing, and they have to pump head and shoulders into this big anus-looking thing. This kind of looks like that, but all digital and just whole and blah blah blah. So anyway, yeah, that's basically the story. Is that this AI is trying to. It's got its hooks into everything, and Tom Cruise is trying to get the keys to turn the AI off and bring the peace to the world, because whoever controls the AI controls the world. And you've got a lot of recurring characters, especially from the last movie in particular. And then you've got Haley Atwell, who plays this pickpocket slash con woman slash super thief who's been hired again by the AI to get the keys. And so the running gag or running storyline throughout the movie is Tom Cruise has the keys, then he bumps into her, she flirts with him, she takes the keys, he bumps into her, chases her, he gets the keys back. And it's literally this entire thing, and through the entire movie, he's saying, Haley Atwell's character, because I can't remember her name, so that's what he says. He says, Haley Atwell's character, these people are going to fucking murder you. And she goes, oh, okay. And then she goes off and runs away and does something stupid again. So Tom Cruise has to trundle along with his crew, and they turn up and they save the day. Maybe somebody dies, maybe somebody doesn't. And then again, it's Haley Atwell's character. These people are going to fucking kill you. Oh, okay. Blah, blah. And she does this throughout the entire movie. Now, Haley Atwell is a fine actress.
Yes.
She is very, very good. She was fantastic as Peggy Carter in both Agent Carter of S.H.I.E.L.D., as Captain Carter in the What If cartoons. And she's trying her best here. It's just her character. If her character had just listens to Tom Cruise right off the bat, the movie would be 10 minutes long. We wouldn't need two parts to it. And that's the problem. I mean, she is a walking plot device so that Tom can run, and he does run. He runs across an airplane, an airport in Doha. Where else does he run? He runs in Paris. I think he runs in London. He runs down an alleyway. He does a lot of his running, and of course he does the bike stunt. The bike stunt we've seen in the movie, which is we've seen in the ads, which is him driving off the side of a cliff on a motorbike with a parachute in his back, and it really, really is spectacular. You can tell it's an absolute practical stunt. It does show. It really does put Mission Impossible, the Fast franchise in its place as a GTA knockoff video game pseudo pretend movie, because the physical stunts that are in this movie are amongst the most outrageous I've ever seen. Every member of the cast is signed up and participates. Haley Atwell's bounced around like a fucking pinball when one of the cars goes ass over tit. But yeah, this stunt where he drives off the edge of the cliff, they actually filmed this on the first day of shooting, and the reasoning was that if Tom Cruise died or was seriously injured on that first day, they could shut down production and not lose any more money.
And so he
practical. Well, I think it's very practical.
Yeah.
Fair dues to him. So he did this stunt for the first day of the movie, and then he did it 5 more times. He drove it off the side of this cliff, and you see the bike go, and you see the parachute, and he's controlling, and he's done the free fall, and then the parachute goes. And then he goes through the side of the Orient Express because he has to land inside a train. And you can tell it's him, and you can tell it's not, a stunt man with a mask or anything like that. And that's where this movie really delivers as a popcorn movie. It's a true popcorn movie that really does deliver a holy shit, did they really just do that? And there's a lot of those. Excuse me. Where it falls down a little is, like I said, the Haley Atwell character. If she just fucking listened, the movie would have kept going at a fair clip. They could have still put the various set pieces in place, such as the one on the train on the Orient Express. But it's very, very enjoyable. And now I like these songs. I like the first one. Didn't like the second one as much. It was that Australian one with Dougray Scott, the man who should have been Wolverine, only got injured.
Right.
And
he turned it down to do Mission Impossible. Oops.
No, he got injured. He actually got injured on Mission Impossible. So he couldn't go from Mission Impossible to X-Men. and they had to cast that other chap who didn't do very well.
The guy from Oklahoma. That guy.
Yes, that's right. That singer song and dance man.
Yeah, I wonder whatever happened to that guy.
Was the second one John Woo? Was that the one he directed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is John Woo. And I just don't think it's funny. I think Face Off is a better Mission Impossible John Woo movie than MI2 is, in my opinion. Yes.
And the third was Philip Seymour Hoffman. Is that right? Am I remembering?
He's in three. He's in three. But I mean, that's the only one I didn't really like. And then, they just kind of decided to just throw balls to the wall from Mission Impossible 3 on. Things got a little crazier and crazier. Cruise would do his stunts. He would jump off the side of a building and shatter his ankle, or he would cling to the side of an airplane as it takes off. Apparently, the next one has this thing in space where he's actually in space.
Right. He did his own space stunt work, which
amazing. I mean, the guy is incredible, and he's 61 years of age now. And obviously, when none of us are quite 61 yet, and I think we could take him.
I have problems getting down the stairs, man.
Yeah, I don't think we could take him. We ganged up on him.
Well, by take him, I mean, we could probably offer him a ride to the Scientology Celebrity Center in West Hollywood. That's as far as we could take him because security would drop us at the door. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is another movie, and this whole series has basically evolved or devolved, depending on how much you like it, into this ongoing love letter to the popcorn experience. It's never going to win an Academy Award. It doesn't have to. It
was never meant to either. Yeah,
it's basically a super fun thrill ride of with some twists and some turns. Some of them really predictable, some not so much. And anybody who liked Fallout, which was the last one, or Ghost Nation, or I can't even remember some of the other ones through the years with regards to their names, but it's more of the same. It's great. Tom is looking his age somewhat. I mean, Ethan Hunt is. I mean, they've said this is the Dead Reckoning 1 and 2 will be the last ones where Ethan Hunt is played by Tom Cruise, and it may be that he retires as Ethan Hunt and moves upstairs and pops up in cameos in future movies, and they peel it off, but. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite movies. And interestingly enough, I just rewatched The Flash today because it's available on digital.
Totally forgot that was out. Oops.
And it just goes to show how an over-reliance on CG really can hurt a movie, especially when it's bad CG. Because you and I have had the discussion.
Yes,
the CG and I still maintain after rewatching The Flash that the movie is the worst for it. But I thoroughly recommend Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, and I reckon everybody should go watch it.
Do you dead reckon they should?
I double dead reckoning it part 1.
I have 2 questions for you, Marcus. What's your favorite aspect of these movies? Because there's so much going on. Incredible action, loaded casts. And for action movies, I think the writing is smarter than most action movies. So.
Absolutely. I mean, look, you're talking to somebody who grew up on Bond movies. And, these came along and sort of like when the Bond movies were perhaps, they'd come back with Pierce Brosnan and we'd had a couple of good ones, but then the Brosnan ones started to take a dive and they weren't really that good. And this sort of like just brought back the globe trotting, the excellent cast. The writing is really, really strong generally. And it's just this side of believable. I mean, yes, the stunts are fucking insane, but it's just this side. If you take the stunts apart, away, that an AI could come along, or there is, various organizations out there who are causing havoc and look to destabilize countries and some of the other plot lines that they've done. That it's just feasible enough. So yeah, it's all of those things, and it just ticks them off, and it's something Triple X tried to do, and they did with the first one, and then kind of fell flat in its ass. Bourne did it, perhaps with the first three, and then the fourth one died on his ass. So this one, you've actually got to give props to Tom Cruise and his team, because this is the 8th movie, I think, in the series. Seventh, and the next one's 8th.
Yes, I think.
So no, I think actually Fallout was the 7th. I think you'd have to Google that.
Let's do it.
But yeah, to give them credit that this is, this does very, very well. It's a summer blockbuster. It's more enjoyable than Indiana Jones. It's more enjoyable than The Flash. It's different to Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's just nice to see the locations and the physical effects, and know that not all of this is green screen.
Now, my second question is, I think this is a better written, better acted, better choreographed franchise than the Fast franchise. But the Fast has made a lot more money, and I don't know why. Why do you think that is? So for context, I believe total Mission Impossible box office is just under 4 billion, and the total Fast is about 7.5 billion.
Oh, absolutely. Look, and the Fast movies have had their high points. Around, I think it peaked with a 5 and 6 for me. In the Fast franchise, and then it just got silly.
Yeah.
The problem is that, how do I say this? The lowest hanging fruit. I mean,
that's exactly it.
Yeah, it's not exactly meant to cater to. And no offense to people who like the Fast X or the Fast franchise. I mean, like I said, I went to see the last one, but it's hardly fucking taxing on the neurons. I mean, it is the it's the Walmart. It's Call of Duty filmmaking.
Oh,
it's like, we'll have this, and we'll have this, and we'll bring this one back from the dead, and we'll bring that one back to the dead. And this sub will appear somewhere in the middle of the desert because hey, that's what we're going to do. We're going to drive this car out of this vault between these 3 large buildings because we can. But it's all about family. So and I think that's it. Now, I did read this comment online, and I think it's really, really apt that if the Fast franchise is a parody, and everybody knows the Fast franchise is a parody, except for Vin Diesel. And look, he is making money off it. He's got to. Let's face it. Everything else turns to shit. Everything else he does turns to shit. Yes, exactly. John Cena's. Yeah.
If you spray tan Cena enough. No, that still doesn't.
No. It just can't happen. Yes, it's look.
I enjoy the Fast franchises because it's stupid. Do you think maybe if Mission Impossible would just be a little bit dumber, it would have a broader appeal? Although maybe you might not enjoy it as much.
I think, look, it might, but I think it would be doing it a disservice. And I mean, that's the thing. You enjoy the Fast franchise as much as the Next Man, and it just so happens that the Next Man is a fucking moron.
Yeah.
But I also think that with Fast, they've made a conscious decision to try and appeal to people all over the world. Like, I forget which one it was, that they had like these 2 guys who were super huge in Brazil and in South America in the movie.
Right, but they also have Tony Jaa from Thailand, from the
Ong and they get like they have a much more international cast, and they get people that are like big in those territories, who are basically like the Vin Diesel of Asia and the Vin Diesel of South America and whatever.
A lot of Vin Diesels.
Yeah.
Why? We've got to be in a simulation.
They even, I think it was in 6 where they had one of the guys from what's that crazy Malaysian or Indonesian movie?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
The Raid. He had one of the guys from The Raid in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are exceptionally savvy. You make a great point. They are so savvy with their casting. And it's always interesting that they do get this all-star cast. They get, they get Statham, they get Dwayne Johnson, they get Charlize fucking Theron, they get Helen Mirren, Dame Helen Mirren, the goddamn queen. And, there's 2 Oscar winners right there. I mean, they get Gal Gadot, but that's their own fault.
Wait, didn't 10 have 3? They had what's her face from West Side Story.
That's right. Ariana
DeBose. I'm not making a joke here. Didn't Vin win one for like writing of like a movie early in his career? I thought
you better Google that because that's a serious accusation.
I think he won a creative writing contest.
The Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences know where you live. They control this town, and they will be knocking at your door demanding a retraction, my friend.
I seem to remember him writing something really early on.
Was it Family Ties?
No, it was like a movie, like a short film he did.
Okay, I am on his page. No, that's an MTV Music Award.
That's right. It was Rita Moreno. Award. Thank you, Mo.
Rita Moreno. Yes.
There you go. So that's 3 female Oscar winners who are absolute legends. The fact that Rita Moreno, really never got a huge career going, is quite disgusting over the years. But I mean, Dame Helen has, thankfully, and Charlize Theron has. And all I can think of, they either dump a boatload of money or they do make it really fun to make this, where they just come in and ham it up. There's not a real acting challenge. It's like, have some scenery, chew on this.
Paul, I think you totally imagined this award.
I can't find record of this. I would have sworn that it was some early movie that he did that got a lot of attention. But
I can't even find evidence that he knows how to write. So,
Vin Diesel, he lives in Vegas. There you go, that guy down there.
He's a fine Dungeons.
Oh wait! In 1994, he wrote, directed, produced, and starred in the short drama film Multifacial.
That's we don't cover those kind of movies.
Screening at 1995 Cannes Film Festival.
But did he win anything? It doesn't have.
No, it doesn't say that. But okay. But all right. Anyway.
So I was
wrong. It was remade as 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Yeah, I saw Multifacial on Pornhub.
And, anyway,
yeah.
So yes, that's my thoughts on. I've gone on for too long, but that's my view. I really liked it. It's you raised a very interesting point with the Mission Impossible things, but I mean, what in comparison to the Fast series, but why do a lot of things make more money? Why do we live in a universe where there's Kardashians? Why do these things? Why is Guy Fieri allowed to be around? Why does Mark Wahlberg make movies that make money or used to make money? I mean, we're not exactly. And look, I'm not a snob. I am a big fan of having popcorn silly movies. I love them, absolutely. Fast 10's a joke, but some of the previous ones were just so enjoyable. But yeah, I think, there's a reason that the president before this one was voted for by morons. And it's either the Vin Diesel effect or the Kim Kardashian effect. Maybe they should just marry each other and the world will end because they will give birth to the Antichrist.
So to wrap it up, on a scale of 5 Running Men with halves, 4.5. Okay.
Yeah, 5 was. I actually thought 5. The last one, Fallout, was 5. This probably would have been a 5 had it been just the all-encompassing story without the second half. I mean, it still goes on for a fair while, but 4.5, really enjoyable. Now, please, Tom, send me a coconut cake. Make it gluten-free, please.
Now, moving on to Paul, who is playing a game in a franchise I never thought he would be interested in.
I never thought either.
As long as I've known Paul, he has not been a JRPG guy at all.
You can't say that anymore. That's racist. Apparently, it's racist to say the word JRPG because people get upset over denoting this style of gameplay and putting the word Japanese in front of it, even though it's just actually seems to be very apt because the Japanese have perfected this style of gameplay.
Yes.
And that's all they seem to be capable of producing anyway.
And I make the distinction.
3-hour cutscenes and turn-based fucking combat.
Like I used to tell Ray and Greg from BioWare that they make my favorite white RPGs. So I make that distinction. Now, Paul.
Yes.
Final Fantasy XVI.
Yeah.
You're enjoying.
I am to a certain extent. Yes.
Oh. Let's hear it. Go on.
Well,
Rant.
okay. So
yeah, why? Why? For the love of Christ, why?
Because it's not turn-based.
I spelled talks wrong.
Tax, finally.
Yes.
Okay, so for people who haven't played it yet, Final Fantasy games are usually got turn-based combat. In this one, they threw that out, and it's real-time combat. And it kind of feels, in some respects, it feels like God of War. It's sort of, but although there's other things going on there as well. And there's also other things about it that like don't feel like an RPG. I mean, I know not necessarily a JRPG. Oh no, we're not supposed to say that. Blah blah blah.
Or maybe you meant Jewish RPG.
Jewish RPG. Now
or
that
juvenile RPG.
Yeah, but I mean,
like juvenile diabetes. We must stamp it out.
It is. I mean, Raymond, you've played it. What?
I have not enjoyed this nearly as much as previous Final Fantasy games, probably for the reasons that you enjoy it. It's definitely much more action-y.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like, for the mainline games, not the MMO Final Fantasies, they've been losing me since 12. So I didn't like 13 as much or 15. Because it's gotten more action-y and it's more modern, and I like the old school turn-based stuff. And this is definitely far away from that.
Yeah.
But I'm just fascinated that you like this.
I mean, because as an action game with RPG elements, which is what this really is, it's pretty good. The combat is really fluid. There's lots of different things to do in it. Within the combat, in fact, one of the things when you're fighting sort of like your grunt characters as opposed to like bosses and mini bosses, it actually reminds me a lot of Batman Arkham games, in how like you keep like the guy will like run over there and smack that guy and then a bunch of times and then immediately jump to that guy and smack that guy a bunch of times, and it's very fluid and very fast, and all of a sudden like you're just beating the heck out of everybody, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm alone. All right, fine. And then you also have these fights against bosses, which weirdly to me feel kind of like Dead Souls, if Dead Souls actually had an easy option, which I know seems opposite of like what Dead Souls is all about, but like, you have these like multifaceted bosses, and like, like you have to use different tactics. Like there's one, I don't know if you've fought one yet, but there's these giant turtles.
Yeah.
And if you hit them on the side, nothing, because you're hitting the shell. Like you have to like physically get yourself in front of that thing and smack it right in the head. But of course it keeps turning, and which I thought was really clever. So, and then of course you get to be a kaiju at some point, which
See, that's the part I knew where, okay, I see why Paul likes this, because Paul loves his Godzilla.
I do love my Godzilla and my King Kong and my, swamp monster, or smog monster rather.
So you mentioned God of War as well. What aspects do you find similar to God of War?
Well, okay, I want to be very specific. It feels like God of War as opposed to God of War Ragnarok. The worlds are largely linear. There are like kind of times you can kind of go off the beaten path and beat people up. And a lot of the action is, because it is melee combat, but with sort of a little bit of magic there. That's what reminds me of God of War. I think God of War is a much better game, a much more interesting game, but in terms of the way it feels like God of War in the way it mixes action and the RPG elements.
Right.
What the best analogy is that I can make for this game, and I don't know if if you guys have played these games, I don't know if it'll mean anything to you. This feels like it should have been its own game or a sort of a spin-off game. That they shouldn't have called it Final Fantasy XVI. They should have called it something else. Final Fantasy, I don't know, something else. In much the same way that Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon, like they overlap, but they're also very different games.
Right.
I mean, you know, like sort of like to a lesser extent, like Final Fantasy versus, as you were saying, the MMO, but Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy Tactics are very different.
Yeah, games. Wildly different.
Yeah, like that's what they should have done. They shouldn't have called this Final Fantasy like 16. They should have called it Final Fantasy Action or whatever. And then,
you bring up that point, and if this was just another game with another name entirely, I probably would have enjoyed it more than I have so far, because I have certain expectations when I hear Final Fantasy of what, and I don't know if that's fair or not, but that's what I want.
It doesn't matter if it's fair or not. It's what happens. You know, you go into something thinking it's going to be one thing and it's not that thing. You know, if you walked into Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning and it was a musical, whether it's a really good musical or not, I mean,
did you not see Rock of Ages?
Yeah, I mean,
Luther, get me the code. That could work.
You know, I suppose we'll find out when the Joker movie comes out, but yeah.
You just triggered Marcus, man. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, but
I mean, look, you're already triggering me, but you're talking about Final Fantasy fucking whatever this one is.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, Marcus, you would enjoy this. It is not.
No.
It's an
No.
But I want to see. I will say this though. It does have its issues. I have a question for you, Raymond, because like I said, you've played more of these games than I have. It seems to me like the other ones were set in sort of a future world where there's it's like a mix of science fiction and fantasy, like, you know, kind of like Star Wars is, you know, where you have
kind of, it's more steampunky than anything.
Right, but like
it's basically a BTS video.
Right, well, there's that element. But like, and this one seems like it's much more hard fantasy. And I was wondering, you know, like this is like,
ooh, how hard? Sammy Rothard?
Like you know, Game of Thrones, you know, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and I wonder if that's throwing people as well. And that's also another difference. Like again, you could have said like, hey, we're gonna go this different route with it and go more, you know.
A lot of people have brought up a lot of the storytelling style is very, very much Game of Thronesy, and you know, you have that intrigue and backstabbing and all that. What do you think of the story? And
well, when it started, I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of typical. Like someone's betrayed the king, and now this guy who was gonna be like cool and now finds himself a nobody. Right. You know, I mean, that's like isn't that like Les Mis? Isn't that what that Les Mis is about? Or
I thought it was by somebody stealing some bread and
right,
or shaving her head off,
or the Count of Monte
Cristo to me.
Yeah, Count of Monte Cristo or something. You know, it's kind of that. But the problem I had with the story is there was just so much of it, and so many cutscenes, and they just went on and on and on, and they were so melodramatic. And eventually, I just started hitting that skip button, and I have no idea what's going on, and I have no idea where I am in the story. There's been at least 3 times when I thought, "Wait, am I at the end already?" Oh, wait, no, there's more. Okay.
You know, how did you play it? Because I know when you do play RPGs, you're generally like the warrior class. You like bashing.
Well, that's what you get to do in this. I mean, that's one of the things in this game is you play as this guy. You don't have a choice. Like
right, but I mean, you know, there are variations in how you can play. Like you don't have to be like straight ahead. I mean,
can you? I mean,
it's not like you can be a wizard, but you can.
Right. I mean, you can't be a wizard. You can't be a thief. You know, you basically, your attacks are you hit somebody with something or you throw something at them. And then like as you progress, you learn more things
Right.
and whatnot, and it definitely becomes more varied, which is good. And you get these different but even, I mean, that's one of the things like about this game, and which I could see other people having a problem with is like, when you get the wind powers, you really only have a choice of like 3 or 4 that you can use,
right.
swap in. Like, it's not like Diablo where you have like 8 different, you have 30 different attacks you can choose from, but you can use 6 at a time. With this one, you have you have the 2.
I think that was the problem for longtime fans, is it didn't have the variety of the previous games, and that.
Oh, it definitely does not. It definitely does. And in fact, one of the things I have a problem with is it doesn't have nearly as many side quests as you would expect from a game like this, and a lot of the side quests feel like busy work. Like, one of the side quests is like, oh, go deliver food to like our customers.
This is me, Paul. You cannot do this.
I mean, like, but you're used to like, oh, the side quests having some sort of, some meaning. I mean, once in a while, having like a goofy one like that is kind of good to break things up.
I mean, I played so many RPGs where like, go kill 20 rats, so like,
gold mining.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was having like EverQuest flashbacks.
Yeah, that's true.
Kill some rats.
fishing in EverQuest, just walking away and letting you just leaving your character fish.
Yeah,
I just want to say, Paul, you are a gentleman for taking this one for the team.
Look, I didn't. I didn't pay for the game, which I'm glad about. It's not one of my favorite games of the year. Well, it'll be like an honorable mention. It's been fun running around smacking the crap out of things for a couple of hours, and okay.
So how do you enjoy this compared to your experience with Diablo 4?
Diablo 4 is a much better game.
Okay.
Much better game.
I think so too, and I don't even really like Diablo 4 as much as you did.
No.
I think it's a much better game, and I haven't even played Final Fantasy 29.
Yeah. And I didn't even care about the story in Diablo 4 either. I mean, it's, oh no, evil's come back to the realm. We got to stop it. Okay.
Yeah, it's the shittiest realm ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
I am with Kane Waters here. I like turn-based combat. I wish real fights were turn-based.
I grew up with turn-based combat at the PlayStation 1 era. It was Final Fantasy VIII after on the 2 discs on the PS1.
Oh God.
I was done. I couldn't go back to that franchise anymore.
The junction system was quite clever. I liked it. Now, Paul, on a scale of 1 to 10 swords, no halves, what do you give Final Fantasy XVI?
7.
7 swords.
Maybe, 7.
Are they full swords or are they semi-swords?
Well, the 7th is a little limp.
Wow.
It's more of a dagger.
Okay. Fair enough.
Like I said, look,
it's more of a tuning fork.
Yeah. If you like Final Fantasy because it has turn-based combat, I wouldn't buy it. If you like games like God of War and you're kind of iffy on it, I would say play the demo and maybe wait for it to go on sale. Because as an action game with RPG elements, there are way better ones out there. Ones that are much more advanced. That's one of the weird things. Is it seems very much like this is their first attempt at an action.
See, the demo is pretty clear about what the game is. When I played the demo, I'm like, I hope there's more, old school stuff in it.
Right.
And there was not. So that is good advice to play the demo. The demo is fair representation.
And I'm encouraged by that because it's so easy for people to make a demo that just shows the best stuff. And I always appreciate it when a demo actually shows you this is what the game is going to be. Because I think sometimes like people don't understand that as important as it is to sell your thing and make sure that people know about it and buy it, I think it's also important to make sure that people who aren't going to enjoy it know that they shouldn't buy it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Fair. You don't want to trick people into buying a game because you just lose a long-term customer.
Right. Because not only do you lose a customer that way, you also get someone who's out there going like, oh, that game was terrible. That game was terrible. This is a piece of crap. Don't buy this. You know? And I think people sometimes don't understand the importance of that. That you're better off like letting people know, you know, this is what this thing is, and if you don't like this kind of thing, then don't buy this. You know, save your money and get something else.
Fair enough. Kane Waters says original FF7 is my favorite. You spelled favorite wrong. Just kidding. But still haven't looked at remake. 7 was not one of my favorites. I think the original is very overrated. They did flesh out that world with a bunch of other games leading up to it and the movie. Remake is pretty fantastic. So I highly recommend it if you're into the world of 7. And now let us close things off with a small movie called Past Lives. This is a movie by A24, written and directed by Celine Song, starring Greta Lee, who some of you know from The Morning Show on Apple TV Plus. I think she's in Russian Doll, if I'm not mistaken, or she's in some other prestige series that I do not watch, but she's a wonderful Korean American actress. So this is a small, pretty much the opposite of Mission Impossible. This is a very small, no special effects. You know, this is a very story-driven, small cast, small budget film. And this is my kind of movie. I love the writing. I love the subtle acting. I love these small budget stories. And this is a fantastic one. So it takes place in 3 different time periods. It starts out with 2 12-year-olds who are pretty much have crushes on each other in school. And they're in Seoul, South Korea. The girl ends up leaving Korea and going to Canada. So flash forward 12 years later, where the girl is becoming a writer. Wow, the rain is really pouring down. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Yeah. It's just so weird for Las Vegas. The guy's still in Korea and he's looking for her on Facebook. And they end up having a lot of conversations on Skype and reconnecting and capturing, you know, their feelings for each other. And they discuss the concept of inyan, which is your relationships in your past life affecting the relationships you have on your current life. So there's a saying like, if you brush somebody's shoulder in public, that means you have a previous layer of inyan. You had a connection with them in one of your past lives. If you have 8,000 layers of inyan, that's usually people who end up marrying. So they have this pretty intense connection, but the girl decides to cut it off because she wants to focus on her career and becoming a great writer. So they chill out. Flash forward 12 more years. The girl now lives in New York. She is a playwright. She is married to a book author. And the guy comes to New York to see her and, you know, see if there's anything there. He breaks up with his girlfriend because he wants to make sure that he doesn't have feelings for this woman still. And it's just a beautifully told story that has a great ending. Like, I don't know if you guys are fans of ambiguous endings like Birdman or what's the Scarlett Johansson, Bill Murray movie? That's my favorite movie.
Lost in Translation.
Lost in Translation, where you don't know what he whispers to her at the end. Where, so there's some ambiguity there. This one is kind of like that, but different in terms of your personal beliefs. So the movie ends where they have a conversation, a night out, all 3 of them, and the girl walks the guy to his Uber and saying they have a conversation where they talk about their feelings and their past lives. And then something happens. I won't say what, but it's a combination of something very happy, very sad, and very intense. And your degree of that really depends on what you believe personally. Do you believe in past lives and next lives? Do you believe in a Judeo-Christian afterlife? Do you believe that nothing happens when you die? Depending on what you believe, the ending can be much happier, much sadder, or just really kind of a bummer. And I love that last scene so much because they walk from her apartment to where the Uber is going to pick him up. And it just seems like a short little walk. But after they have that deep conversation, her walk back just seems so long and far because she has all this heavy emotion she's carrying. And it's just so beautifully done. I mean, it's the same walk, but it just feels so much longer and heavier. But yeah, this will probably be my favorite movie of the year, with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse being second so far, which is an interesting contrast.
It's funny because as you were talking about it, it sounds to me like this would have been a movie that an American studio would have done like a remake with like
like Old Boy or something, where they Americanize it.
Yeah, and it would have it would have been terrible. And I kind of think that maybe that won't happen because of Parasite winning the Academy Award.
Right, but it's not really a Korean movie. I mean,
it's an English language movie, isn't it?
Well, maybe a third is in Korean, and the rest is in English.
Right,
maybe
but they would still want to remake it with, like, you know, Gwyneth Paltrow. And,
oh my God, that would be terrible.
You know,
they think they did. It was called Sliding Doors.
Sliding Doors.
Yeah,
nobody wants a Spanish Inquisition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This seems. I mean, I just read the plot synopsis while you were talking about this, and I got to say, it's not something that I think I would watch in the actual movies, but when it hits streaming in a couple of weeks, and to answer Carlos's question, it's not streaming yet. It is in.
It's still in theaters,
indie theaters in particular. For example, it's playing. Where is it playing? Here in LA. It's playing at.
I'm curious.
Yeah, it's actually playing at two different, the Landmark in Pasadena and the Regal Paseo. So we've actually got it playing in two movie theaters here in Pasadena. But it does seem like the perfect movie for when it gets a little bit colder and darker later in the year.
Yes.
Where Sean and I will put the fire on, and we will make ourselves a nice cocktail, and we will just curl up on the couch and watch it. The plot seems very interesting. The whole concept of previous lives. I mean, that is something that's fascinating. I mean, as somebody who has been marked for death, not once, but twice, but thrice. I mean, I do spend a lot of time thinking about, is there an afterlife? Is there a... You know, we now have more souls on this planet than ever before. Are our souls reused? You know, if they are, I really don't want to come back to that. I just don't want to come back to this planet because I have no inkling or interest in coming back. And
it's not getting better.
It's going to be in you know, in 20, 30 years time. But yeah, it does seem very, you know, it seems like a very interesting film, and honestly, it's showing a very tender side of you, Raymond.
Oh,
I mean that in a totally non-sarcastic way. Actually, it's always refreshing to you know, find out these things about your friends. I mean, I'm a big fucking muppet about these movies too. I mean, you know, I will blub away at some of these movies. Did you cry at the end?
No, but I do cry in movies quite often.
So
I was on the verge. I was pretty close.
Okay.
But I was also seeing it. I was so floored by that ending scene. I just loved so much that I was more, you know, I think being impressed by it over that was higher on my totem pole than emotion.
So this is your best movie of the year so far?
So far, yeah.
Wow.
And Carlos, A24 is usually 45 days after theatrical release is when they usually hit streaming. That was the case
early August.
Yeah. I believe that was the case for Everything Everywhere All at Once last year. And is it dub? It is It is subtitled when they are speaking Korean, so you do not have to learn Korean to enjoy this movie. Although I am trying.
All right, so Ray, let's like how many damp handkerchiefs out of 5 are you going to give this one?
6.
Wow.
Break the scale.
You just broke the scale, and therefore it's totally invalid. You can go to 5. You can.
I will go to 6,
5.
my friend. I just loved everything about this movie.
That's cool. No, it's always nice to learn something else that's coming out, especially when you see a lot of the tosh that comes out. But I mean, A24 in particular seem to be on their
They're
game.
killing it lately. Yeah,
they really are.
I actually just watched that Marcel with the shoes on.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the shell one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie is really good and really funny in like a very weird way. And Isabella Rossellini is so good in that movie. She's so fucking funny in that.
Did you guys watch Minari? I think that came out 2 years ago.
I don't know that one.
It's about a Korean family that moves to like Kansas or something, and they become a farming family.
Huh.
Yeah, that one just looked a little too depressing for me.
I liked it. Yeah. I think Steven Yeun is fantastic, and I want him to be I think that guy is the Asian American star that's like waiting to blow up. So I have high hopes for him.
They have
was he the guy from The Walking Dead?
Yes.
He was, wasn't he?
And he was in Beef recently.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
And he was in what's the Amazon animated series?
Invincible.
He's he is Mr. Invincible himself.
I haven't watched Beef, but I do like me some Ali Wong.
So I'd be very interested to see if you've watched another A23 movie, A24 movie called You Hurt My Feelings. Because that came out and hit streaming, and the wife and I watched it, and it's set in New York. It's a bunch of intellectual type white folks, and I gotta say, even though A24 hit it out the park, the movie's the biggest pile of wank I've seen this year. I mean, it's like somebody's trying to do a Woody Allen movie, but without the suspicious behavior, and it's just every character you just want to slap with a fucking haddock. You just want to go, you are stupid. Not the actor. The actors are all superb actors, absolutely brilliant actors. But it's just one of those movies
where it's
like, I don't know. It's just maybe it's just the way they rub me up the wrong way. You know the type. It's like, yes, I'm from New York, don't you know? Yes, I'm a book writer and I'm a playwright. And I myself, this is my son who's written 15 movies and produced them all on his iPhone. And we're all exceptionally rich and everything else and bloody blue. And we all have neuroses. And oh, look at us. Aren't we put upon? Life is so hard while we live in our $8 million brownstone in Brooklyn. And there's no dark people here. It's one of those movies. And it's just the way. It's basically like the Sex and the City reboot. It just goes to show how pointless these people are. They're fucking pointless.
Sounds like a short story from the New Yorker.
It probably was a short story in the New Yorker, but I mean, it is. I mean, there is just this. You see these characters, and you just wonder. It's like, who are you based on? What monsters are you based on? And you know that there are people in this world who are like that, who move in these circles. And then you wonder about people, there are people out there who are starving, who are trying to, heat their homes or cool their homes or put food on the table for their kids and buy clothes and get them into school. And you just think, you shouldn't be making this pretentious wank. You really shouldn't, because at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of white people, rich white people, having the white people problems. Oh my God, they were out of organic watermelon and whole food again, Tabitha. Oh, Darkwing, I can't find my unicorn tampons.
I'm feeling
hurt
very
my feelings
right now.
Huh?
You hurt my feelings. It's called.
Yeah, it's
Julia
about a husband.
Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, like I said, the cast is absolutely banging, and it's about a couple, and she writes books, and she overhears her husband telling one of their friends that he really didn't like her next book, even though he told her that he did. And so it's basically Julia Louis-Dreyfus walking around going, "You didn't like my book, you bastard," and not telling the husband, and the husband just go, "All right, what the fuck's up with you? Why are you being so?" Oh? And she's like, "Oh, I'm fine, you prick." And eventually it comes out that he doesn't like her book, and she knows, and he's like, "Well, you wouldn't listen to the whole conversation and the context and blah blah." Yeah, it's one of those movies,
I see.
But anyway, yours sounds way more interesting, and I'm actually looking forward to watching Past Lives because I like movies like that. That is interesting to me. I won't go to the movies to see it because I've already gone to the movies twice this week.
All right, and it'll be out in a month, so I think
it'll be
good.
Streaming.
Yeah.
It'll be streaming. So let's talk about the next show.
Yes. I think Paul is out of this one because he does not want to party with Barbie.
Well, this is the thing. Friday, I have physical therapy first thing in the morning. And then...
Oh, you're doing double feature, aren't you?
My wife and I are going to see Barbie. And then we're coming out of Barbie, where we're watching Barbie in the Dolby Digital Cinema at the local AMC, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. And then we have like 20 minutes for a pee break. And we go off because you're going to need one. We're going to need one for the 18 hours of Oppenheimer. Then we go and see Oppenheimer in IMAX.
Yeah,
huge IMAX. So yeah, it's been a long time since we.
Why are you guys going in that order? Because most people are doing it the other way.
Because that's what we could get the tickets for, and we didn't really want to be around much later for the rowdy Friday night Barbie crowd. Because let's face it, anybody who's seen. Who's been to a screening of Mamma Mia, where adults are shit-faced, or Magic Mike, or anything like that. I mean, it's just terrifying, and we figure that we can get them both done by a reasonable time and be home before the riots start.
I just imagine a bunch of drunk people the whole time. You're like, "Come on, Barbie, let's go party."
Get your tits out, Bobby. Oh, Ken, you got no dick, mate. You're fucking smooth down there. Oh, what's this? They got a funny colored Barbie. Oh, how rude. I'm offended. You see Piers Morgan got on his soapbox this week, and he said he was offended by the Barbie movie because it annexed Ken to a supporting character.
Oh, fuck that guy. I mean, for several reasons.
Speculent
yeah.
Showed. I just wish that, every country should just ban him until all he can do is sit on a life raft in the middle of the Atlantic. And then he gets eaten. Well, actually, you can't even wish for him to be eaten by a shark because the poor shark would have food poisoning. But Piers Morgan is a cockknocker.
Yeah, he sucks.
I'm for Bobby.
I love parody and satire, and I'm a fan of Greta Gerwig since the second time I saw her. The Arthur remake, not so good.
She was good in it. I mean, look, it wasn't bad, but I mean, let's face it. And any of you who haven't seen the Arthur remake, go watch the original first of all. It's
right.
It's got Dudley Moore, Liza Minnelli, and Sir John Gielgud.
Yeah,
3 amazing actors who are no longer with us.
Demi Moore's dad. Not really.
No. Who are absolutely on their A game. Just don't watch Arthur 2 on the Rocks because it's
my
awful.
God. That was terrible.
But yeah, and it also, it gave us the classic Christopher Cross song, Moon in New York City.
Yes.
So yeah, that's an excellent movie. The remake wasn't too bad. Greta Gerwig was good in it.
I love Russell Brand, and I'm disappointed he did not become the star I thought he could be in my head.
I have had the honor or the pleasure rather of hanging out with him for like 15-20 minutes back in the day. I was out with my now wife and some friends, and we were all in a bar, and I went out to smoke, and he was outside. He'd come outside just to get some fresh air, and ended up smoking with me. So I give him a fag. Cigarette.
That's what they call cigarettes in England.
Thank
just
you.
being clear.
And so we talked for a while because I'd read his bookie work.
Yes, I love his book.
We had a good chat. He was very nice, and I mentioned that one of our group had seen him come into the restaurant and had a huge crush on him, and he came in with us, and he just chatted and gave her a hug and everything, and he was just a really, really nice guy. And I think, unfortunately for Russell, he's one of these ones in Britain. We have this very unique mindset that if you make it in America, you're a fucking arsehole and you cannot be anything British ever again. And I think that's something that James Corden is about to find out, or probably has found out.
Interesting.
Even though he is a massive arsehole. And it sucks because he made one of my favorite TV shows in Gavin and Stacey.
Yes.
But yeah, Russell Brand, I mean, he's gone a little bit off the deep end. I've seen him in stand-up. He's been really good. But some of the conspiracy theory stuff he's been peddling is a little bit crazy. His heart is in the right place.
Mo was asking, do you like his YouTube show? And yeah, I think piggybacking on what Marcus just said, I like maybe a third of the episodes. I try to watch all of them, but then I usually get like 5 minutes in and I'm like, dude, you're crazy on this one. I can't.
Yeah. I mean, he's basically the common sense police have not called by his house recently. And that's why he's not become this huge, big star. I mean, if you look at the stuff that he did for getting Sarah Marshall, Get Him to the Greek.
Yes, I love Get Him to the Greek. Another
one who was in Rock of Ages with Tom Cruise, and he actually had this love affair with Alec Baldwin's character. That was really quite cool.
That was funny.
But he's
in those Minions movies. For the
maybe he's better. He's better as as a voiceover guy. But yeah,
he might be too smart, and Hollywood does not like their
that smart.
Well, compared to most actors, too smart for Hollywood.
No, I don't think he's that smart. I don't think it's a Hollywood. I mean, he's too mouthy for Hollywood. He's definitely too mouthy for Hollywood. He's very similar to Ricky Gervais in that he's too much of a gobshite.
Too opinionated? Is that a better?
Yeah, word? That's probably a good thing to say. But anyway, we digress. Watch the original Arthur with Dudley Moore. It's fantastic. But yes, we're going to see Barbie on Friday. I'm going to see Oppenheimer on Friday. So that means, assuming you are on a similar time frame, my friend, next Monday's show will be all about Barbenheimer.
I have tickets for Barbie. I do not have tickets for Oppenheimer yet. I don't know if I can do the double feature. I do want to see both.
Yeah, you've got until Monday, 6 p.m. PST. Come on, Raymond, you can do it.
I'm curious, Paul. Why are you not interested in Barbie? I think the commentary.
You look like the demographic.
It seems like the kind of movie that if I watched it in a theater, I'd get bored. But if I watched it at home, where I could watch for an hour and then take a break and go, check my email or whatever, that I might like some of it. I think I'm going to there's that part in the commercial where it's if you love Barbie, you'll love this movie. And then if you hate Barbie, you'll love this movie. I think I'm going to like the hate parts, not the like parts.
Did you like Lady Bird?
Go on, sorry, Ray.
I was never that interested in Lady Bird.
Okay.
I didn't really enjoy Lady Bird. I found it very boring and overrated. They should have had the recut the trailer just for Paul, and he should have been, are you totally ambivalent to Barbie? This movie's for you. And look, I mean,
Liza Minnelli apparently is still alive.
She is. Okay. Well,
did we say she
buried her early? I did. I thought she passed.
No.
That's right. Oh, she came on stage at the Oscars last year or something, didn't she?
How's she looking? Nah, I mean,
moving on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's.
I mean, does she look
getting on a bit.
healthy? Yeah, she's what 70 something now, I guess.
But yes, I think this movie is. It's either going to be one of the most stealthy, snarky, fun movies of the year, or it's going to be a fucking disaster, cringeworthy.
And
because
that's why I don't want to waste the $20.
Well, I mean, we went to we registered our AMC Plus things, which is like $30 a month, and you get 3 tickets a week to anything, including IMAX and digital. So we ended up paying $30, and 2 of our tickets for this week, and we still have another one. Have gone to these movies. So
see, that's great. AMC Regal is the most common by me, and their program is not nearly as good as AMC's.
Regal have taken over the local arc like in Pasadena, and we went there to watch a shitty movie, and oh my god, it's just so depressing because it's like I don't know, a 99-cent store moving into Windsor Castle. You know, there's something that used to be like super, like cool and full of life and vibrant, and the ArcLight in Pasadena was really, really cool, and now it's just like no, I don't want you to go to the toilets alone. It's horrible.
I mean, that part is good because the Regals here are all in the casinos, so they keep them in pretty good shape, but all the theaters are really small. They want to pack as many different movies as possible, so we don't have a true IMAX out here.
That's sad.
It's sad.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Oppenheimer because what's his name? Christopher
Scarecrow.
Nolan. Christopher. Well, I'm not looking forward to seeing Cillian Murphy naked in IMAX. It's like it's a 80-foot dong.
Might knock you over.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting movie, and Sean and I are probably gonna have to go for dinner somewhere, really, really like lighthearted afterwards. Because
see, that's the thing. I feel like I need to prepare for Oppenheimer because I have a pretty good idea of how it ends. So I like emotionally, like I need to be ready for that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's gonna be a very, very emotional and very hard movie. I mean, everybody knows how Oppenheimer and all these scientists were treated by the U.S. government, and how a lot of them died in a lot of pain, and some of them were murdered, and ostracized, and shunned, and just died in poverty. So there's a bunch of shit going on there. But
so Mo, what happens is
Mo.
The bomb goes off, and it creates Godzilla, and Paul is happy.
It actually, that's why they're merging it with Barbie, and it's going to be 150-foot Barbie kaiju. And a Barbie Kenju.
Ooh. I'm picturing 150-foot Margot Robbie.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Attack of the 50-foot Barbie in the Barbie movie. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
I have high hopes. I mean, I'm just hoping for social.
I hope to get high beforehand.
Well, I could do that too.
Well, so can I, because this is Southern California and it's all legal, baby. All right, and I think on that bombshell, I'm going to go off and have my supper.
Yes. Let us have some final words and say our so long farewell.
Xylophone, zebra, zephyr.
Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
There we go. So thank you guys for watching the BeeRPad. Please like, subscribe, hit the YouTube bell so you can be notified. All our social medias are up there. Check out Paul's site, paulsemel.com, for excellent reviews on video games, movies, books, and more.
I looked on your site. I haven't been able to find more.
Aha, maybe you're not looking. Where's the more, Paul?
Where is the more?
Give us more.
It's like the any key. There's no any key.
There's more there. You just got to look for it. I'm not going to make it easy for you.
Oh, he plays hard to get. I see.
Always.
So he's cheap, but not easy.
It's worth it.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.